Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Higher or Lower, the show brought to you by Spreadex, Sporting Index and oddschecker as we look ahead to the weekend's football and say if we think the results of the spread betting markets will be higher or lower than the midpoint. I'm your host, George Ellick, delighted to be joined by Dan Worth and Jack Wright as we look ahead to this weekend's action. No time for small talk this week. I don't care how either of you are. We'll get straight into Friday night football in the Championship. Middlesbrough, who made a cracking start to the season, unbeaten thus far with a late equaliser against Preston last time out, hosting West Brom, who've started pretty well under life with Ryan Mason. Total goals here is the mark I'm looking at. Spreadex have the sell price as 2.45, the buy price is 2.65. 2.55 is the midpoint. We're going higher or lower. 3, 2, 1. We all agree. Jack, why is it going to be lower?
I just think it's going to be very, very tight. I think West Brom are struggling in that forward area just to find that creative spark. Yeah, it's been a great start for Middlesbrough, and I say West Brom will be disappointed from their defeat last time out. They look to bounce back from that, but I just feel that most of the games they've had this season, both of these sides have been pretty tight, and I can't see this being too different really. The expected goals are very much aligned. They're the 67th and 82nd worst expected goals over the last 5 games in the 92, so very much lower third, and I think that just will resonate in this particular game. So yeah, a couple of 1-0 wins for Borough. Wouldn't surprise me to see a similar outcome here, but certainly a lower than 2.55.
Dan?
Yeah, nice. All I've got to add is Middlesbrough conceding the lowest average shots per game in the Championship with just 5.5, so I think more than anything West Brom will probably be reduced to very little here, which to me suggests lower than 3 goals.
Yeah, if you take out West Brom's 3-2 away win at Wrexham are a kind of crazy team in the Championship this season in terms of conceding loads of goals and scoring lots of goals. Then West Brom's games in all competitions are 1-0, 1-1, 1-1, 0-1, 0-1. So showing there, I think that, not a team we should necessarily expect a lot of goal output from. And as you mentioned, Borough looking very strong, certainly defensively. Into the Premier League now, and the early game on Saturday is Liverpool hosting Everton. Liverpool scored yet another injury time winner against Atletico Madrid.
Mad.
Diego Simeone tried to fight the crowd afterwards, which was fun. Virgil van Dijk heading home to make that game 3-2. Hosting Everton side, fresh off their second goalless draw of the season. Total goal minutes, the line here, 154 to sell, 164 to buy. The midpoint, 159. 3, 2, 1.
We're all again.
Dan?
Well, I mean, it's pretty unsustainable to keep scoring 90 plus, isn't it?
Yep.
I think that's 5 in a row for Liverpool. Maybe 5 is the line and 6 is where it's not going to happen. I've got this playing out very similar to the last meeting between these two sides at Anfield, where Liverpool struggled to break down Everton and probably will eventually, but not enough times for this to make up here. Been quite impressed with Everton, as I've said every time we've spoken about them so far on this show, and they do look slightly better going forward. But again, they're not really lighting up, they're not scoring loads of goals. They're quite solid at the back, and I think this will be a pretty tight affair, as I say, as it was last time. So I'm going lower.
Yeah, totally agree. I said they've had 2 0-0 draws. Obviously, the opening game against Leeds was actually 1-0 win after Leeds scored very late. But even so, 2 games there where they haven't really created too much. I think the way this game will look with David Moyes against good teams or some of the best teams in the league is normally they sit incredibly deep in their attacking threats, certainly with Grealish, but also Njai, another one. They've got players who are very effective in the counter and will be able to kind of win fouls and alleviate the pressure, if not much else. Derby games often really, really scrappy. Anyone who watched Rangers Celtic a couple of weeks ago would have seen that. Anyone who watched Southampton Portsmouth would have seen that as well on Sunday. And even though I expect Liverpool probably to come out on top eventually, I can't see it being a particularly high-scoring affair. And as you say, they aren't going to score in the 90th plus minute every single game, or even 80 plus minutes every game. So, yeah, lower for me too.
Yeah, all the same reasons really. I think that early kickoff on a Wednesday night going into an early kickoff on a Saturday, where's Jurgen Klopp when you need him? Because that would have been box office TV for certain. I think that adds to it as well. And the kind of a little bit more open from David Moyes. I don't think we'll see that. We'll see the pragmatic side of David Moyes here. Want to keep it very, very tight. Similar probably to that Burnley template that we saw last week, where they really sat deep and really frustrated Liverpool. Maybe not quite so much so, given they've got the better players, but it will certainly be a similar theme to that, I think. When you look at the last 10 head-to-heads across this match, with Liverpool generally been in the ascendancy, you'd expect them to win it quite comfortably. The games have only averaged 2.3 goals across that period of time. There's only been one that's unravelled really in recent times, and that was a few years ago now. The rest have generally been pretty tight at Anfield. So yeah, I think lower is the way here. Liverpool get their noses in front. They've got no reason to go and kick on and smash this, given the fact they invested a lot in that Atletico game.
Okay, late kickoff on Saturday sees Manchester United hosting Chelsea. You've got to think that Ruben Amorim's going to start coming under some pretty severe pressure if he can't find a way for United to start picking up points after their 3-0 defeat against Manchester City. What was Sam thinking, Jack, last weekend?
I don't know.
Last week. You can see that he's new to the game, can't you?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No experience.
Chelsea off a 3-1 defeat. 3-2 defeat. No, it's 3-1 defeat, wasn't it? It was cancelled out, the Palmer goal. Away at Bayern Munich on Wednesday night. So a trip to Munich and now a trip to Manchester. But they are the favourites for Spread X in the supremacy market. 0.1 is the midpoint here. So lower is a draw or a Manchester United win. Higher is Chelsea to compound Manchester United's misery. 3, 2, 1.
What?
Yeah.
What's happened to you?
Well, bad teams don't just lose every game. They don't lose every game.
Yeah, fair enough.
United aren't going to finish.
No, they beat Burnley.
United aren't going to finish on 0 points, are they?
No, they beat
It
Burnley.
would be a very good story.
They're not going
if
to
they
finish
did.
on 3 points, and they've drew with Fulham. They're not going to finish on 4. They're not going to finish on 4 points, are they?
Probably not.
But and as you say yourself, one of your big beliefs, like Chelsea come here off the back of a Wednesday night away game in Munich, pretty bruising team to play against in terms of their physicality and the pace at which they play. They came away from that with a defeat. They then haven't got much of a break by the time they get to United on Saturday, and United had a week off. So that is massively in their favour. We've seen United's best performance of the season by miles on opening day against Arsenal at home. Yeah, I think Chelsea are probably the right favourites. But I think United or a draw here is more likely than them winning. Jack?
But this is Man United.
Yeah.
And they are terrible.
They are. Terrible teams pick up points.
Yeah, they do. But I don't think they will against Chelsea. I think Chelsea are so streets clear of Manchester United at this moment in time. Even with, the only caveat is the fact how much has Munich taken out of them. If there's one squad that can cope with that, I'd probably say it's Chelsea. But for me, the Man United defence, absolutely woeful. Like, where were they? They were just all over the place against City. And I just think that with what Chelsea have got in those forward areas, they can really exploit those frailties. And that midfield running, they just can't pick up midfield runners. And there's so much energy in that Chelsea midfield that I just feel that those areas that are really weak for Man United are really strong for Chelsea, and they can make the most of it. And when you drill into the stats of Amorim, no side, since Amorim's been in charge, no side has picked up fewer points than Manchester United. 31 games, league games in charge, 31 points picked up. Spurs' win has brought them level with them now. Obviously, they've changed dramatically. And he says he's not going to change. And as we all know, if you keep doing the same things, you tend to get the same results. And that's what we're seeing for Man United. That's what I expect to continue to see for Man United. And all the underlying data would certainly suggest that this is not a fluke and that Man United are getting what they deserve. And Chelsea are one of the top three, well, the third best side since their manager, since Maresca's been there, only behind Liverpool and Arsenal. And this season, that's reflected. They've got the best expected points in the league. So, for me, Chelsea.
Yeah, same here. I think Chelsea could play at midday on Saturday and still go to Old Trafford and beat them in the Honestly, United are terrible. Looking no good going forward. Leaky at the back. Midfield all over the place. It's just a recipe for disaster. Chelsea, although they were defeated last night, I thought they looked pretty good, particularly going forward. I mentioned it at the start of the season, the João Pedro and Cole Palmer link-up. Looked really good last night, and I can't wait to see that against this Man United side because it could be detrimental. So, yeah, Chelsea win for me.
Fools. West London derby now. Fulham hosting Brentford. No love lost between these two. First match goal is what we're looking at here. 36.5 is the midpoint with Spread X. This is the time in which the first goal is scored. So if you're going lower than 36.5, then you think there will be a goal in the first 37 minutes. Higher will mean 0-0 after that amount of time. And the longer it stays 0-0, the more you win. Higher or lower? First match goal. Fulham Brentford. 3, 2, 1. I think it's going to be a snoozer.
I do. You don't?
Well, it's not a particularly strong one. Basically, my thinking here was, it's a derby, and as I always say, derbies start cagey and everything else. But this line is normally 6 points lower. So seems like quite a high line. So let's take it on. Brentford have been relatively impressive under Keith Andrews thus far after a poor opening performance. Fulham have been relatively impressive under Marco Silva. Both of them, I would say, relatively attacking in terms of the way that they set out. So let's have a nice early goal. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Chat.
Yeah, time for my unsustainable stat of the day, and that is that there's only been one first-half goal this season so far in a Fulham League game.
That is the dream. Thank you.
And that came after 45 plus 9 minutes.
It's now a strong fancy for me.
There we are. Glad to have influenced you in that way. And I just feel Fulham are really disjointed this season. They just don't quite seem to be clicking. Again, it was nearly 0-0 last week. That mad own goal, great finish, great own goal. Would have been proud of that one. And Keith Andrews, Brentford. I think, look, this is no Thomas Frank Brentford side that come flying out of the traps. Obviously, without Mbomo and without Wissa, that's kind of understandable. They seem more hard working, a bit more gritty, a bit more compact, a little bit more tight. I think they're looking to dig in after that match day 1 collapse against Forest, where it looked like this could be a real tough season for them. They've certainly picked up since then. I don't expect a fast start. I don't expect too many goals in it. So I am happy to go higher than this for the opener.
Good stuff, Dan.
Yeah, much the same for me. Both of these teams are right down the bottom for average shots per game, and I think we'll see that continue. I think it's got tight affair written all over it, so I've taken a punt on higher.
You really, really have. 2 more games before we get into our naps of the week, starting with Sunderland versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa yet to score a goal.
Bonkers.
Sam, if you're watching, maybe just skip a bit now. But his nap last week was goals in Villa Everton, finished 0-0. He said it was unsustainable that Villa would be unable to score.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll say to you, Sam, he's got great chances to score,
He
mate.
could have the successive winner of their goal of the season, a goal of the month competition.
Yeah. Anyway, first Villa goal is the market we're looking at here. Will they get their first goal? Possibly. 51.5 is the midpoint of the spread here. So is there going to be a Villa goal in the first 52 minutes? That would be lower. 52 or no goal 52 minutes or higher would be higher. 3, 2, 1. Unsustainable.
Because it is. Of course it is.
Like they look terrible.
They are.
They look really poor.
They are looking horrifically
I met
bad.
a mate of mine saying, "How long do you give Unai?" He said, "Forever." I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, until Man United come calling.
and let him go. No, I mean, look, I think there are a lot of reasons why things are going wrong at Villa, and they do look very, very bad, and I'm not going to sit here and claim otherwise. An XG of 3.1 up to now is a really paltry number. But it's still ridiculous that they haven't scored a goal yet. And like, one of these days, probably on Saturday, the chances would have it, the ball is going to go in the back of the net, whether by some free-flowing football and a well-crafted goal, or just a deflected effort, or it's going to, it's just a set-piece goal. It's going to happen. And as much as I like Sunderland, I fancy Sunderland this season to stay up, they are still going to be one of the worst defensive teams in the league. It's just because of where they are on the food chain. And this is a good opportunity for Villa to get that goal. So I'm going to put my neck on the line and say one of Aston Villa's next 10 shots will go in. And the chances are that's going to be in the first hour of this game. So, I'm going lower. Dan, why is it sustainable? Are they going to score 0 goals this season?
It would be a great story if that was the case. And I do actually agree with what you're saying, that Sunderland is a great opportunity for them to get their first goal of the season, but only 5 teams have conceded fewer XG than Sunderland so far this season.
Impressive.
So they've looked pretty good
Great
at the
team.
back, particularly for a newly promoted side, and probably, I'd imagine, none of us predicted that. Maybe you, because you're shrewd.
I bet on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, there we go then. George predicted it, because he's very shrewd. And this is relatively high at 51.5, but not high enough for me. So, up.
Yeah, I was close to this is unsustainable. I'm going to have to take a chance on Villa clicking. Then I've kind of tried to justify that, and other than having that argument, it's quite tough given that Sunderland riding the crest of the wave, home form vitally important for newly promoted sides. It will get harder for them at some point in time. It will come down. I'm going to say this is a great opportunity for them with Villa, brittle confidence, to actually kick on and get another 3 points on the board, or certainly add another point. And I just can't take any positive angle with Villa at the moment, because not just because the stats say they've got 0 goals from 4 games, but the underlying data just completely supports that as well.
Wow.
Oh, well, look, it does. 7 attempts against Everton.
Yeah, but if you rack it up over 3 XG and you're on naught, the data doesn't support you getting scoring 0 goals.
Well, no, but it supports the fact that you're not doing enough.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So, and you look at the main man, Ollie Watkins is there, number 9.
Yeah.
Very consistent, proven track record in the Premier League. 0 shots against Everton. 7 in total from. So that stat you said you're doing the tally for that, by the way, the 10-shot tally. We'll see where it goes. You know, they wouldn't even taken 10, so it could be the next game yet. So if that continues, and Ollie Watkins, 4.3 touches in the box.
If you badmouth Ollie Watkins, this is what I do.
I know.
Right? This is what I do.
Scared.
Unbelievable. I was there in Dortmund.
Can I change higher?
Gave me the best moment of my life watching football, and you've done that.
I know. Unbelievable. I do apologise.
Right. On to Arsenal, Manchester City next. The supremacy market. You're
going to give away what you're going to do
Spread
anyway.
X. No, I'm not. Arsenal Favs over Man City given home advantage. 0.55 is the midpoint here with Spread X. So higher is an Arsenal win. Lower is City or draw. 3, 2, 1. Well, that's lucky.
Gooners.
Yeah. Go on. Why are Arsenal going to win this?
They're better than Man City at the moment. Professional displays this season. Yeah, they are. That Man City performance against Manchester United was decent. It was okay. It looked like it was a lot better than what it was.
Just to see what they're going to do tonight to Napoli.
Well, we don't know that. So that, at the moment, I can't use that as evidence either way. So we will see. I just think that Man United was so poor defending what City are strong at. That is clearly not going to be the case with Arsenal, who are the best defence in the league, without a shadow of a doubt. They're beating the lesser lights. They've been very solid this season. That was slightly unfortunate against Liverpool. We know they have a little bit of an inferiority complex when they go away, but they're better at home. They obviously beat City 5-1 last season at the Emirates, so they have got that confidence and a decent record against them. They can flex their attack when they need to against the lesser lights, but they've got that ultra-strong defence when they need to. And if they keep Haaland quiet in this, I think that's pretty much all they need to do, which is a weird thing to say against a City side with lots of other players, and we're used to having so many threats. But I just feel that they haven't quite got that at this moment in time. And the other final point is that City go from a Thursday night game in the Champions League to a Sunday game in one of the toughest games of the season. That's, with Arsenal playing on the Tuesday night, it's like, that's a real unfair advantage going to Arsenal, and I'm going to use that. Simply for me, I think Arsenal win it. Therefore, I'm taking the higher.
I think given the times of both teams playing in Europe surely suggests it's going to be quite tight, and that makes draw a huge player for me here, which is why I'm going lower, really. Yeah,
I mean, I think draw's a massive player because Mikel Arteta seems to play for a draw in any game against any team who thinks could be tight to challenges. It feels so clear to me that this is going to be a game that will be an unders game. I think unders will be a bet.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I'm always going to look to take on the favourite because 0-0's a huge runner, 1-0's a huge runner, 1-0's, it kind of limits your opportunity for a win. Like we saw that ridiculous game against Liverpool where the way that Arteta just sets his teams up is let's ensure that we keep it tight and it's going to take a 30-yard free kick into the top left-hand corner to beat us, which is what happened that day. So I do agree with you that I'm still absolutely not sold on City at all, albeit I do think defensively they've looked better in moments. Donnarumma coming in is obviously big in terms of shot stopping too. But I just have very little faith in Arsenal creating enough really, or looking to create enough to bet on to win the game.
This totally wouldn't surprise me. 1-0 Arsenal, set piece goal, like the template Arsenal with how both these sides are set up at this moment in time. But we'll look forward to seeing and discussing next week.
Yeah, nap of the week. Dan, what is your best bet across the weekend of football?
I can keep this very quick because it's basically the same rationale I've already used. It's almost the same market, but I'm going for a sell of goals cubed in the Merseyside derby.
Lovely.
At 62.5, so you need 4 goals for this to go higher. For reasons I've already said.
Well.
I think this is going to be very tight. I don't think we're going to be seeing 4 goals. I'm not even sure we'll see 3. I think it's got a 1-0 or 2-0 Liverpool win written all over it. It's not going to be free-flowing. I think it's going to be very tight. Might see late goals, but that doesn't impact this market at all, although it does impact the other one that we've already discussed. But yeah, I think nice and tight. 62.5 on the goals cube seems way too high for me.
Very high.
Great. Jack?
Yeah, West Ham, Crystal Palace for me. Luckily for me, a market I was looking for came live just before we recorded. So I've changed my original booking supremacy, which was go lower than West Ham 1, to a player goal minutes. The line is set at 3.0 as a midpoint. I'm going higher, and the player is Maxime Lacroix.
Of course it is.
So I'm going down the old, my tried and trusted as far as headed attempts and set-piece attempts against West Ham. Simple as that. League high, 6 goals conceded from set pieces, 16 headed attempts, which is the joint highest with Nottingham Forest. 5 headed goals is clear of anyone. Lacroix had 20 headed attempts at goal last season. That's twice as many as Mateta, who had 10, and 8 more than the next best, which was Ismail Assar with 12. He had a shot on target against West Ham last season, so he was getting there or thereabouts. He's had a shot on target against Nottingham Forest this season, who have already compared to West Ham in that category. And I think at 3, this is obviously one of my favourite angles of attack. Very much a low risk, high reward strategy. I think Palace beat West Ham, and it wouldn't surprise me to come from a set piece from Lacroix.
Lovely stuff. Championship for me. Portsmouth hosting Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday are in trouble on and off the pitch, unsurprisingly, because they've got a very small squad. Their impressive early season performances are spiralling quite quickly. We saw Bristol City put 3 past them in the first half an hour on Saturday before kind of not being able to score anymore. They go to Pompey. I think Pompey will see this as an opportunity to really show what they're about. Josh Murphy started the season in great form, hasn't scored yet. Colby Bishop leading the Lions looking good. Connor Chaplin in at 10. Like, this is an attacking force I think could take Wednesday apart. And I'm going to buy Portsmouth goal rush, which means get 10 points for 1 goal, 20 points for 2 goals, 33 points for 3 goals, 50 points for 4 goals, 70 points for 5 goals, 100 points for 6 or more goals. And it wouldn't surprise me if this is a day where the home side run riot. There we have it.
What was the line?
22.5 to buy.
Nice.
So the midpoint's just over 2, basically.
Lovely.
There we have it. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this week's episode of Higher or Lower. If you haven't got a SpreadX or a Sporting Index account, click in the link in the show description. There's a new custom offer waiting for you there. T's and C's to apply. And remember that losses can exceed your initial deposit. Oddschecker have you covered for all your fixed odds betting needs, including tipsters, best prices, bookie offers, and all other stuff there. So do check it out. Whoscored.com have the stats that Dan just kind of reads out for the most part to inform your betting. We'll see you again next week. But in the meantime, enjoy the football and please ensure that you're gambling responsibly.